VicaLove.
Girl, I gotta be next to you.
VicaLove.
Girl, I gotta be next to you.
I'm waiting, anticipating for you, baby.
Hey my loves, what's up? I'm back. It's been a minute, I know. But I'm finally coming to y'all with my BMT experience, which has been long awaited, long asked for. Y'all been asking me to film this since like August, September, and it's like pretty much almost December now, and this video will probably be out in like December. So I'm sorry, but I've been busy, had a lot going on, a lot to do, a lot to catch up on since I got back from BMT and tech school. But the video is finally here. I got my little notebook over here that I took with me to BMT, and I pretty much wrote down pretty much almost every day about what was going on and stuff. So it's gonna be a pretty detailed video, or as detailed as I can be. If there's any other like questions y'all may have that I didn't cover in the video, y'all can leave it down in the comments below, and I'll either answer you guys individually or I'll just turn your questions into another video. I left for BMT, Air Force BMT July 14th. So unlike active duty and I think some of the reserve people, I did not have to go to MEPS first. I pretty much just left from my house, went to the airport, and that was that for the most part. So I think I had like it wasn't too early in the morning, but it was a morning flight or whatever. So, and it was also a connecting flight. So I went from my home state, New York, if y'all don't know. So I think of like Georgia, and then from Georgia to Mississippi. And some of y'all probably like, Mississippi. Yes, I did not do the traditional Air Force BMT out in Texas. I was actually the first person from my base that they sent to Mississippi. So that was pretty interesting because everyone else has that Texas, I was gonna say tech school, the Texas BMT experience. So plus it was COVID time, so this will be a completely different story from what y'all are usually equipped to hearing. But yeah, so when we got to Mississippi, I had to go find like the USO area and stuff like that, which was pretty interesting because they were closed because of this whole COVID time that was going on and stuff like that. But we ended up finding like they weren't MTIs, but they were sent here from. They were sent to the airport from the base to have us wait. So pretty much we went, we signed whatever we needed to sign. We took a picture of our address to send to our families. So we didn't really get like that initial phone call, really. Like it was, but it was at the airport. But we still had our phones up until we got to the base in Mississippi for where we were having BMT at. When we got them, honestly, it was not like Texas at all, because from the videos I've watched, they were always saying like, oh, like at the airport, they're like mad strict and stern and stuff like that, and like yelling at you to get on that bus. Was it the white bus or something like that? Was it a white bus? I think on the other videos they say like it's a white bus, but for me it was a blue bus. No one was yelling. The driver was actually really nice. And I think she said like some of the MTIs there were her MTIs, but of course she went to Texas. But yes, so it was different from what I've been hearing these other people saying about how their first experience getting off the plane and going on a bus. We didn't have to put our heads down at all. They actually allowed us to be on our phones. I don't know if we were supposed to, but they allowed us to be on our phones for a little bit. But once we got closer to the entrance of where we were gonna be, they told us to turn our phones off, and I don't think they took our phones yet. They just told us to like turn it off. As for Mississippi, let me tell y'all, I did not like it at all. Like it wasn't the BMT experience that I didn't like, it was just the heat. Because if y'all know me, I do not do well with heat. I hate it. Like it really pisses me off. Like I walk outside and I feel the heat slap me in the face. If I was in a good mood, instantly pissed off. But yeah, so BMT overall was really not that bad, in my opinion. For me personally, it was. For others, it might have been a different story. But I felt like for me, I was like more mentally prepared, and I started working out earlier, probably a month before I was gonna go. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like this video is gonna be all over the place because I feel like I'm gonna be jumping around everywhere. So sorry from the jump, but I'm gonna go back to before I left. So I started working out about like a month or so before I left for BMT. with like a personal trainer and stuff like that from Brooklyn, who was actually a Marine. Yeah, he was a Marine, so he's like a retired Marine now. So he was helping me out and trying to help me get ready and prepared and stuff like that. Because my run, let me tell y'all, it was bad. It was bad at first. I think in one of my past videos was the first time. I think you see him in that video too. It was like a preparing for the Air Force BMT. I'll probably link it somewhere on the screen somewhere, so you guys can go check that out, and also in the description down below as well. But yeah, my run time was like bad. I think it was like 18 at first, but he helped me get it down to like, I think I got it down to maybe a 15:45 right before I left, which is pretty good because I did not like running. As the time went on, I did end up getting like a tolerance to it. But yeah, so also originally I was supposed to leave for BMT in April, but then that's like a month prior was when the whole COVID thing happened. So they just pretty much canceled that. I didn't have like a full set date, but they were telling me that's around the time I was supposed to be leaving and stuff like that. But yeah, so that got canceled. COVID happened. Everyone was pretty much at home, and like I said, I'm from New York, so we got hit pretty hard at first. I'm not gonna lie, I was at home being lazy. Well, lazy exercise-wise at first, because I wasn't being lazy with some other stuff. I was trying to get some stuff done after I got over that little 2 weeks of me being like, yo, just watching Netflix the whole time and not doing anything. But yeah, so anywho, I started working out about a month prior, and it wasn't until about 2 weeks before I had to leave was when I got the call from my recruiter saying, all right, so we got a date for you. You're leaving in 2 weeks. And then my eyes were like, 2 weeks? I really didn't want to leave during the summer just because, like I said, I do not like the heat. And they had me leaving in the heart of summer too, right? In the beginning of July. So it was like, yo, because I was like, I was hoping she'd tell me September. I'm like, all right, that gives me time to get more prepared, more in shape and all that stuff, you know? But no, homegirl said 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So what do I have to do and all that other stuff? So I ended up having to go to base about, I think, a week after she told me that, to do my out processing stuff and all that extra paperwork and figure out the stuff that I need. I think she also sent me a packing list, so I started going out to buy the stuff that I did not have. Y'all can see that video as well on my page as well. I'll link it on the screen somewhere, as well as in the description down below, so you guys can watch it if y'all want to. I'll probably do another updated packing video because I feel like I did bring too much stuff, but they were telling us to bring a lot of stuff, but you really don't need all of that stuff because they do provide you with a lot of the stuff. But anywho, so yeah, so we got there. It pulled up to the building where the BMT was going to be at, and it was like quiet at first, which was a little weird. And then the MTIs were like walking outside of the bus, and we were just like waiting for them to, I guess, come on the bus, because you see how in the videos they're like, oh, they like walk up into the bus and they're like, oh, get off my bus, get off my bus. So I think we were waiting for that, so we were all just like sitting there like not knowing what to do. And then that's when they came in and was like, what are y'all waiting for? Get off this bus, get off this bus, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Yo, thinking back at it now, honestly, BMT was hilarious. Like when they would yell, it was like honestly funny, but you can't laugh. And like having the mask on actually helped, because sometimes they wouldn't know that you're laughing unless they heard you. Yo, I got caught laughing once, but I'm gonna tell you about that later on. Honestly. But yeah, they were yelling at us to get off the bus. So we grabbed our civilian luggage and book bags or whatever else that we had. Some people like brought like suitcases, which at first I'm like, yo, your recruiter didn't tell you not to bring a suitcase? Or like, but as the time went on, or like after boot camp, we're like, yo, that's smart. I should have brought myself a little suitcase too. Because we did end up getting a lot of stuff at the very end. But anywho, so they had us lined up, and then I know in Texas it's like, I don't know, I think it's called the line of fire, where it's like a whole bunch of MTIs in like this hallway that you have to pass through, and they're just yelling at you. So they kind of had that, but I think for when my group came, I don't know if they were busy with their flights, the other MTIs, or what. I don't think there was really that many MTIs there. Like when we first came to like that hallway or whatever. But they had us like grab our box lunches and stuff like that. So the box lunch was, where is it? They gave us, I know it was a sandwich and apple, I think some Oreo cookies, a bottle of water, and But yeah, so that's what was in the box lunches. Oh, they also had us like sitting on a floor in a straight line, of course socially distanced, and then they gave us like new masks from those we had on, so we had to take off the ones we had on already and put on the ones they gave us. What else? What happened after that? They gave us our food. We ate our food. They timed us. I think they gave us like maybe 10 minutes. I was the last person to finish eating because I wanted to take my time and make sure I had all that food in my belly or as much as I can. I ain't trying to rush, and no. I feel like a lot of people were scared, but I feel like for me, watching videos of BMT with like the videos they record and they put out, and then hearing other people's experience, I felt more prepared. So like them yelling at me or yelling in general, it didn't really scare me. I'm like, alright, cool. So like I know they're not yelling at me because I did something bad, or like they just yelling to yell, you know. So I didn't let that go to my head. So if y'all are going, whether it be to Texas or to Mississippi, if they still have the Mississippi up and running because of COVID, don't let them screaming at you get to you. Like, they're screaming at you to make sure like you're better and stuff like that. So yeah. Anywho, so after that, we was getting our book bag. So it was like this black book bag with a whole bunch of stuff inside of it. It had like body wash, flip flops. It had like the toothpick things to clean your teeth. Toothbrush, toothpaste, a case thing with the toothbrush in it. Towels. It had like 4 towels I think inside of there. A ruler, some writing utensils, so pens. I don't think they gave us pencils, highlighters, what else, etc. I don't remember. It was a whole lot in that bag. Like, it was stuff. Oh, they gave us like Tide Pods, laundry stuff. Our BMT SG, which is like our big study guidebook. So I think that was pretty much it. They gave us a whole, like I said, they gave us a whole lot inside of the book. We were also getting some of our uniforms tried out. Was it? No, it was, no, I think it was, we were trying on like some uniforms, or they were taking our sizes, measuring our waist and our hips and stuff like that. And then I remember they had me try on, I think it was the jacket. Yeah, I think it was the jacket. So like the all-weather jacket, which is like your raincoat and stuff like that. And then had me try on some pants and stuff like that, but we didn't get the pants that day. We got it later on during 0 week or whatever. But yeah, so that was pretty much the first day of me getting there. At Mississippi, they actually had us in our own rooms. So they had us on a separate floor from all the other people that are already there. They had us in our own little dorm rooms, because it's not like it's a whole barrack like it is in Texas and Mississippi. We were in dorms, right? But yeah, so like the first couple days we were in our own rooms or ourselves. There was just no doors to the dorms, and the bathroom, it didn't have a door either. It was like a curtain. So they had us like spread out on like this whole floor. Actually, they broke us up, put us on different floors, but like different segregated floors and stuff like that, because we still haven't had our COVID tests and stuff like that. So they didn't want us like in a room together and someone, God forbid, having it and spreading it to the rest of us, you know? So the next day, I think they woke us up at like, I'm gonna say it was like 4:45. I think day 1 was like, yeah, I think they woke us at like 4:45. We didn't go to sleep until like midnight, or past midnight, almost 1 o'clock, I think. So it's either they woke us up at 4:45 or 5:45, because a lot of the time that's when they would wake us up, like the 5 something mark. And then there was some days they would wake us up at like the 4:45 mark. But yeah, so the next day we got up. It was a female MTI that came banging on the door like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, and like going from like door to door, well, open doorway to open doorway, saying, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, why are you not up? Get in my hallway right now, hurry up, hurry up. Yo, some people were like, looked like they were about to like shit their pants, you know. But yeah, I jumped. I feel like I was kind of awake before, but like I jumped up out of my bed and just got into the hallway because they needed to take our temperatures. And there was this one girl, I don't know, she was always getting yelled at, but like I remember like she was across the hall from me. The female MTI was yelling at her for something. It might have been her hair, I don't remember, but yeah, I feel like the female MTIs are actually more intimidating than the guys. Because for me, we had 2 guy MTIs. MTIs, right? Did I say MTI before? If I did, my bad. But we had 2 MTIs, and they were both guys. They were cool. We had one that was like mid-age, and the other one he was like a little bit older, and he had a whole lot more experience, but I'm gonna get into that later on. So yeah, she was yelling at us again in the hallway, taking our temperatures, and then she was telling us to pretty much get dressed, and we didn't have like other clothes there, so we were still in our civvies, which is civilian clothes for those that don't know. So we put on our civvy clothes and went downstairs. I think we ate breakfast first. For the new people, they had us wear like our reflective belts all the time, so that lets people know that we're in quarantine or whatever, or like it lets them know that we're new but we're also in quarantine, because you don't get your belt taken off until after like the two-week mark or so after your quarantine period or whatever. But yeah, so we went to get breakfast, and they had us eating at a separate dining facility than everybody else, because like I said, they don't know if we have COVID or whatnot. And let me tell you, the food that they had given us for like the first 2 weeks during our quarantine period, that food was good. Let me tell you, it was like a lot of soul food too. So they ask you first, like, if you're a vegetarian, if you have like diet restrictions, so you'll eat something different. That food was good. Them rolls was popping. Those rolls were really good. But yeah, so it has eaten soul food. We did a lot of marching. What else we did? Honestly, the first couple days, it was just a lot of marching. Let me see. So I wrote here that it was a long day. Okay, so they woke us up at 5:22 a.m. that day. And I wrote that the food was pretty good. We marched a lot. We got our PT clothes. We got our OCPs, our books, our sneakers. Okay, so that day pretty much we went to the warehouse, and we were pretty much there for like majority of the day. And the warehouse, like the AC wasn't even really working that much, so it was like, damn, we over here dying, sitting on the floor. It was better than being outside though, because outside's heat, I don't know what's wrong with Mississippi, but their heat is something else. Like the humidity, I can't. Like when I tell you, every time I walked outside, I got pissed off. I started to get used to it after a while, just a little bit, but nah, that heat's something different. Also in like my little book here, my little journal, I wrote like some encouraging words for myself. Like over here, I got, you got this, Vica, don't give up. Remember, God got you, and stuff like that. So I was trying to like encourage myself too. And I was missing some peoples in my lives and whatnot. And what? I was missing you. I was like, I miss Alex and home. All right, so day 3. So on this day, they had us doing like the urine test to test us if we have drugs or if any of us are pregnant or whatever. But yeah, so they had us doing that. I'm pretty sure that's when we also had our COVID test. It was day 3, but I kind of feel like it was day 2. But I didn't write it here, so I don't know. Oh, no, I did. It was day 3. So day 3, we had our COVID test. And let me tell you, that was the first time I ever got a COVID test. Sis or bro, I don't know who's watching this, sis or bro. Yo, when I tell you that thing hurt, like, I don't know, since being in the military, since that first COVID test, I had at least 8 COVID tests after. Like, a couple with the military and a couple outside the military. Yo, when I tell you they stuck that thing all the way up until they reached my brain, my guy, yo, that thing hurt so much. Oh my gosh. I wrote here, what I write? How both nostrils hurt. It was some lady, I think during that COVID test, it was like a lady and a guy, and I ended up getting the lady. I kind of wish I got the guy. I think they both would have hurt, but the guy, like, he was like making it, I don't know, the way he was talking, it made you feel more comfortable. The lady was just like, she was just about her business, serious face, right? You're gonna stick this up your nose, we'll do both nostrils, try not to move, this, that, and third. And we were standing up, so the lady was also shorter than me too, I think. Or was this the taller lady? I don't remember. I think she was shorter than me. But she was like sticking it up the nose, twirling. I'm like, oh, this nostril, when I tell you, it hurt way more than this one. Like, every time I had to get the COVID test, this nostril always hurt more. But yo, it was something else. Like, it had me tearing up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, are you trying to get a piece of my brain or something? So day 3 was also the day the first time I saw like the photographers, because you know how like you see pictures of people in boot camp, so they just randomly pop up while you doing whatever, or while you doing whatever. So that was the first time I saw the photographers pop up when we were like waiting in line to get our shots, or some people waiting in line to get their COVID test. And I was trying to be cute and smile through my mask, or just like staring to make sure I got my good side in, you know. But it was hot at that point in time when they was taking it. I was waiting in line to get my shot, so I had already got my COVID test done. So I was waiting in line to get my shot. So you know when you go through that line and they just stick you, and then the butt shot, the peanut butter shot. A lot of people say like it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. For me personally, let me not speak for everybody else. For me, it really wasn't all that bad. Like I just feel like, cause I mentally prepared myself. I'm like, all right, this thing's gonna hurt. And then when they actually did it, it didn't hurt that much. But like, let me tell you, remember, when y'all do go to boot camp or BMT, whatever, basic military training, and y'all get the shot, remember to rub that area where they shot you at, because then it really won't hurt as much. Like, it'll hurt a little bit and be uncomfortable, but just rub that spot and you'll be fine. Trust me. It wasn't that bad, but if it is that bad for you, just remember to keep rubbing that spot so your butt ain't sore a week out, okay? All right. Besides getting the shots that day, we honestly did a lot of marching, and so I think day 3 we learned some like new movements. So I know we were practicing left face, right face, about face. That's like the basics, which they also teach you during student flight. If you're there long enough, they'll teach it to you for sure. Like, you'll learn it while you're in student flight. You should learn it. If not, then I don't know what they're teaching you. And then day 3 was also when we had like our first protein bar. All the other videos that I've watched, people have said those protein bars are like crack and it tasted like candy. So I was prepared when I first got. I'm like, alright, this is gonna be like a candy bar. When I tell you I took a bite into that K, I think I had a strawberry one at first. I took a bite into that K bar. I'm like, what the hell is this? The thing tastes like chalk, like pure chalk. I'm like, what the hell is this? I thought this was gonna taste like candy. Like, I ate less than half of it and I threw it out. But as boot camp went on, they did start tasting like candy, because that's really the only form of like sugar you're gonna have besides like if you drink like the juice that they give you in a DFAC. So like in a DFAC, it's like lemonade or like some type of fruit punch that they give you. Besides that, like, yeah. So that K bar, that protein bar that they give you, that's the only source of sugar that you're really gonna have besides like the little bit of juice. But other than that, you have to drink a whole bunch of water. Like, they tell you to so they give us our little canteens, or for us it was like water bottles. So they give us our water bottles and they tell you have to drink at least, what was it, 8 bottles of water a day or something, or like they said it like in amount of ounces or something like that. And if you don't, and the next day you're feeling weak, they were like, oh, how much water did you drink yesterday? And you'd be like, oh, I drank this much. You see, that's why you're feeling weak. That is why you're feeling weak. Why are you feeling weak, training? Blah, 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 blah. They stand up there and they start yelling at you. I didn't get yelled at for that, though. Actually, I did, but that's later on. But I'll get to that. Alright, so I didn't write for a couple days after that. I didn't write until like day 8. So that'd be like week 2, technically, or week 1? Week 2, week 1-ish. No. It's either 0 week / week 1 into week 2. I don't know how to really describe it. It was like a little weird. For me, my boot camp was not like 7.5 weeks or 8.5 weeks as it was in Texas. For the Mississippi BMT, it was actually 5.5 weeks. So I was pretty excited about that because I was prepared for 7.5 weeks. So if I had went to Texas, I think it would have been like 7.5. So with my BMT, everything was like more, I guess, intensified, or they shortened some stuff up, but the amount of time we were like in the classrooms and doing stuff, it was like more intensified because they had to teach us the stuff that we needed to know quick and effectively and stuff like that, you know. But anyway, so day 8 was the next time that I wrote, and at that point I was just like missing home. And oh, I think that was also the time I got my first letter. A lot of times it felt like they were just like holding the letters and not giving it to us, because I know some people got so much mail. It was like, yo, like how? But then some people, they also didn't get any mail at all, and I also felt bad for them. I got a decent amount of mail, I was happy about it. But yeah, I was missing home. I wrote how like I got my first letter and how I couldn't wait to get my phone back and make phone calls and FaceTime. I feel like I was just like a little homesick that day. But yeah, so by day 8, we ended up moving into different dorms, or different rooms technically. So by that time we had gotten the results of the first COVID test. So there was someone who actually had COVID, so they took them out so quick. Like we didn't even realize that they took them out. There was a couple people that got taken out because it was either the person had COVID or they found something in their urine. So like I think a couple of people were actually pregnant, so they just sent them home. But the way they did it, like they must have done it like while we were sleeping, because no one knew that these people were gone. So there was like only one person who ended up having COVID, and a couple of people who were pregnant that just got sent back home. So day 8, like I said, we went to our new dorms, so where we had to dorm with like either you're in a room of 2 or in a room of 3. So at first I was in a room of 2, but it was like a couple days later or so, or maybe a week later, me and my roommate got pushed into like other people's rooms because other girls from previous flights were getting washed back, so they needed a place to put them. So we needed to empty out our rooms and go dorm with other people. And yeah, dorming, I mean, it wasn't bad actually. It's better than what the people in Texas had to go through with 40-50 girls in one barrack, and then us only having to deal with 1 or 2 other people. Was not bad at all. Technically we had a nicer condition because we had our own rooms, we had our own bathrooms. We don't have to like go and shower with a whole bunch of other girls like they do in Texas, which is sad. Like we did eventually, but that's later on towards Beast, so I'm gonna get to that later on. But it really wasn't that bad. We just had to like figure out like timing. So they would give us 10 minutes to shower. Honestly, a lot of times it felt like it was longer than that, but 10 minutes to shower, go, and you gotta figure it out. So someone is maybe showering for 2 minutes, another one 2 minutes, the other one 6 minutes or so. Like if one person stays on like their period, then they would get more time to shower, whereas if you're not, you just gotta find the spots, you know, your underpits, underneath your boobs, your private area, and just be on your way, you know. In the mornings though, like when we have PT, they'll usually give us a little bit more time than they would like when we showered at night, which was nice because I ain't trying to not miss some areas after y'all just had me working out and stuff, you know. But yeah, so that was that. Let's talk about PT. So PT, it started it started the end of the week 1, week 0, whatever you want to call it. For us, it started on a Saturday, and I think that day was a run day, which wasn't that bad to be honest with you. So they didn't start us like doing a 26-minute run all together. They had us like broken up, so it was like so they had a stretch first, and it had like different stretches. If you guys want, I could make a separate video for PT and show you guys some of the PT that they had us doing. If y'all would like that, let me know down in the comments below, and then I'll figure out a day to start filming that for you guys. I'm pretty sure the PT in Mississippi as well as in Texas is pretty much the same. They really didn't change anything from what I was hearing from like the girls that I met, or girls and guys that I met in tech school. So if y'all want that video, let me know down in the comments below, and then I'll work on filming that for you guys. But yeah, so I think the first day of PT was a Saturday, and it was a run day. So they had a stretch first, and then it was like a run walk thing. So I think we started walking, and then we ran for like a couple minutes, and then they would alternate from that. Alright, so Sunday, the first Sunday, we actually did have to PT, because usually on Sundays you don't PT, but since we were behind or whatever, and with like the whole quarantine thing, we had to PT that first Sunday to get ready, because our first PT test was the week after, so they wanted us to get prepared. So I think that day might have been a strength day or vice versa, I don't remember, but usually, so we usually alternate. One day is a run day, another day is a strength day. So run days, we do what it says we run. So we walk, run, and then later on we just ran straight 26 minutes, but it was like at our own pace. And yeah, you don't have no music. So I know like a lot of people like to run with like their headphones on, their music's on. You don't have none of that. Like you just have to find like a groove, like a run pace that's good for you, and then honestly sing in your head, or I don't know, just use the scenery that's around you, because that's what I had to do. Like a lot of times I was singing in my head, trying to distract myself, because like I'm the type of person, I do run with music in my ear and it helps me. But yeah, I was like singing in my head, and then when I felt like I couldn't go on anymore, I had to be like, alright, come on, you could do this, you could do this. It's just pain is weakness leaving the body. You're stronger than you think, and stuff like that. So just like words of encouragement, trying to tell myself so I could keep going and not stop when I felt like I wanted to stop. Because honestly, you are stronger than you think. It's just a mental thing, so remember that. But yeah, so PT was pretty much that. It's either it's a run day or it's a strength day. Strength days, yo, those be killers. And it's all calisthenics, so you're using your body for exercise. You don't use any type of weights or nothing. You're just purely using your body. And when I tell you, when I went in, my arms were like noodles. When I got out, let me see, how many push-ups could I do? My first PT test, I think I was only able to do 12 push-ups, which is bad. And I was struggling for those 12, okay? But by the end, like my final PT test, I think I finished off with, it was 40 push-ups. So I finished my first PT test, I got 12 push-ups. I got 40, no, I wrote it down. Hold on, let me find it. So for my first PT test, which was not the first Saturday I was there, but the second Saturday, I got 42 sit-ups, 12 push-ups, and my run time went down to a 15 and 13 seconds. I was pretty happy with that, because when I tell you my run time in the beginning was 18 minutes, but when I first started in January, it was like 22 minutes. So from 22 back in January to 15 minutes and 13 seconds, I would say that's pretty damn good, okay? But yeah, so that was my first PT test, and then I think a couple weeks later we had another PT test as well. And my scores, my run time went up, which is bad. So I think it was like a 15:40 something it went to. I'm like, damn, I was like really mad at myself. Like I'm the type of person, like I push myself a lot. So when I heard like my run time went up, like I'm pretty sure I cried that time because I was just stressed. I was in pain too. I think that's also why, because you know how they tell you not to go, well, the medical people, they're not your friends. They're trying to find a reason to get you out, you know. So a lot of times, like, people was in pain and we would hide it. If you're in like some serious pain, I would advise you not to hide it, because you don't want to die just because you ain't trying to go to medical during BMT, so they don't possibly kick you out. Because there was a lot of people who got hurt during my BMT, like in my flight. There was like at least 8 girls, because I think my flight, we started out with like 52 and we finished off like graduating flight, I think it was like 42, I think, maybe less than that. It might have been like 39-ish, but I think it was like 42-ish. But there was like at least 8 people that got hurt. So it was the girl who got COVID, so she ended up going home for whatever reasons, because even though some people get COVID, they would just let you ride out the COVID and then keep testing you to make sure you don't have it, and they would put you back in. But with her, they had just ended up sending her home for other reasons. But there was some girl who, what'd she do? Something with her shoulder. Like she like dislocated her shoulder, her whole hand just went numb. And she was also the guide-on bearer. So the guide-on bearer is like the person that holds the flag in the beginning and like the very front of the flight and stuff like that. But that just like messed up her whole hand, and like her whole arm just like went numb, and like she couldn't do anything with it. So she was one who got hurt. There was like at least 4, maybe 5 people that was on crutches for like, they either broke their leg, they had like what's it called, what was it called, shin splits. I think some people was like shin splits. Someone else like broke something, or they sprained something, and there was one girl who was actually in a wheelchair, and she had to have some type of surgery, I think. But like they weren't sending her home. Like she's honestly probably still there now. She might be actually in BMT right now as we speak. I don't know, But yeah, if I was her, honestly, just send me home at this point. I'm in a whole wheelchair, just send me home. Like, I want to go home. But yeah, there's just a whole lot of people just getting hurt. Like me, I was in pain. Like my legs were killing me towards the end. My back was killing me. I had like this crazy back pain. Like I swear, like I pulled something in my back. It was bad. It was bad. I felt like my hands started to go numb at some point. It sounded like during Beast Week and stuff. Yo, it was bad. And there was like some other people too. Like this girl, I think she dislocated something with her shoulder. She just looked broken, but she was pushing through. Perseverance, and she was focused. She wanted that. Like, yeah. And also with PT as well. If you're not good at PT, don't worry. Like, I would say go into it. It's better to go there prepared, or like having some type of, like, you started working out before. But if not, yes, it might be a lot harder for you, but you could still pass. Because there's some people that went in and they were saying like, oh, they didn't like start working out before. Some people did, and it was still hard. I did, and it was like in between. Like, it was hard because, you know, it's like you in pain, and like some people just not wanting to, like, they just gave up easily, which caused the MTI to have us stay in like certain positions longer. So like if we're in a plank, we had to stay in that plank longer, or like the push-up position, like the lower. And it was like, yo, like just get on, like get your knees off the floor, come on. Like honestly, we're getting pissed off at each other. So anywho, I definitely went off course because I was definitely talking about the first PT test. So that was my scores for the first PT test way back when, right? And then we had another one which determined if we go to Beast. So Beast is like the stimulated war environment setting. I'm not sure how much I could talk about Beast. I mean, I could probably tell you a little bit of stuff, but not like go into full detail with y'all about Beast. But we did have to take a PT test, our second PT test, and if we pass that, that determines if you go to Beast or not. If you do fail, they may fight for you. It just depends on if they see that you're a hard worker, you don't push yourself. But yeah, because I know some people, they did like fail. Maybe they failed one part, or I don't know if anybody failed the whole thing, but it might have been just for one part. But like if your MTIs feel like you're working hard and like you're a strong individual, they'll fight for you to go through. They definitely will fight for you. But yeah, so the second PT test will determine if you go to Beast. I passed. Like I said, I was crying because my runtime went up. I still passed. For the runtime, my runtime went up for that second one to 15. I'm pretty sure it was like a 15:45. Everything else went up. With like my push-ups, I think I got like 28 at that time, and then my sit-ups might have been like a 50 by that point. I think, I don't know, maybe 48. I don't remember. But yeah, so I did pass. So I ended up going to Beast, and like I said, after the first 2 weeks, we get to take off our reflective belts and not have to wear it everywhere we go. We only have to wear it during hours of darkness. And then we moved to like the regular dining facility after that 2 week mark was up. So we got to eat like the regular food that the people that was in tech school that was eating. Honestly, I mean, that food was okay, but I kind of missed the other food from when we were in quarantine, because it was like some good soul food, you know. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And by that time, those K protein bars were tasting like candy for us. So, and also with like the protein bars, we were like asking people, like, because we would look and see who didn't eat their protein bar. Like, you won't eat your protein bar tonight? If not, you can slide it on this way. You know, you got me. So if I braid your hair, you won't pay me with your protein bar, you know? It's like a little business. But next, we're moving on to Beast. Like I said, I don't know how much I can tell you guys about Beast. I'll probably give you guys a little bit now. If I find out later on I can tell you guys a little bit more, then I'll do a separate video just talking about Beast to y'all. So for Beast Week, it was like week 3-ish. Yes, it was week 3 for us when we went to Beast Week. So with the people that go to Texas BMT, I know y'all, their Beast Week is like a week, right? But for us, it was actually 2 weeks. So they had us go to a different location in Mississippi. So not like our regular location. So they had us go to somewhere else a couple hours away from our original BMT base to do beasts. We were there for 2 weeks in 2 different settings. The first setting was like probably like a pre-war environment type of thing, and that's when we were actually in barracks with like they split our flight in half. So it might have been like 20 girls in one barrack, 21 girls in another barrack. So that was when we actually had to experience getting to live together. And yeah, this week was interesting. I will say that it was interesting. It was fun. At the same time, it wasn't fun. It was a lot of team building and whatnot. Yeah, this week was interesting, y'all. All right, so week 1 we were in the pre-war type environment, and we were learning different movements of like low crawl, high crawl, and then all the other movements we had to do, like we would do like during war and stuff like that, right? And then that's also when we were like learning our guns and practicing with like the training guns and stuff like that. So it was like M16s, M14s, and all that, which was fun. BMT in general is also like a lot of books and studying about like the history of the Air Force and the current things that are going on now, and like different stuff that you need to know, being mentally prepared for war. And it's honestly a lot. Like that book is like really thick. I still have it. I don't plan on throwing it away because it does have a lot of good information in there. It also shows you how to wear your blues, wear your uniform. It's a lot of info. But yeah, so during week 1, honestly, it was like a lot of studying. So we were in the classroom a lot of the times, learning different things, like I said. We're learning more about like the war stuff. So being mentally prepared for war, the different tactical movements that we do, high crawl, low crawl. What else? I think we did a little bit of history. We're just learning more about like the war environment, whereas before we were learning about like stuff with current Air Force or what the Air Force offers you, your GI Bill, stuff like that, etc. You know. But yeah, so it was a lot of classroom stuff then during week 1 of BMT, week 1 of Beast Week, sorry. So yeah, it was really just a lot of classroom stuff in general for BMT. It was just a whole lot of classroom stuff. But during Beast Week, it was definitely a whole lot more week 1 of Beast Week. It was a lot of classroom stuff, as well as getting down and dirty in the dirt and in the sand and all that extra stuff, and being out in the heat, picking some weeds, you know. Honestly, sometimes it low-key felt like prison, but we're not gonna talk about that. Anywho, so yeah, during Beast Week, we also ended up showering together, so a whole flight showering together, which was pretty interesting. Honestly, you get used to it after a while. Like, it's like, yo, I'm dirty. Like, I ain't gonna pay attention to none of y'all girls. Like, yes, y'all all butt-ass naked, and we all right next to each other. Honestly, you're just gonna have to get over it. Like, the first time, yeah, it's weird, but like, you need to clean yourself up. Like, you out in the sun, rolling around in the dirt and the sand, and just being sweaty all day. Like, you're gonna forget that you're in like a big ass shower with a whole bunch of girls. Like, it's really not that bad, but like for us, where our showers were, it was so hot. Like, it was hotter than the outside because it was just so humid in the day. It was like a wooden, no, that one wasn't wood, was it? It was like some wooden bathroom, and it was just so humid, and it was like, ugh. Like, as soon as you get out the shower, you start sweating. It's like, oh my god, I feel like I didn't do nothing, you know? But so that was that. And then week 2 of Beast, like I said, I don't know how much I could tell you guys, but week 2 of Beast was more of the war stuff, right? Week 2 is also when we got like qualified for our guns, so we went out to the range, which was a lot of fun. Shooting our M16s, like an M14 or something like that. Shooting our M14s and getting qualified for that. That was pretty fun. I like that a lot. And then actually going through being in an actual war and working together as a team, identifying like what certain grenades look like, or bombs, or listening for certain sounds, or what to look for if you're being approached by a foreigner and stuff like that, you know. I think that's pretty much what I could tell you guys for Beast Week. Like I said, if I could tell you guys more, that'll be like a separate little video. Y'all could ask y'all questions down in the comments below about that, and I'll see what I could spill out to you guys about that, but I ain't trying to get in trouble, and no. Right, so that's what I think. That's all I can pretty much tell y'all. During the second week of Beast, the environment was very different. We were in smaller rooms. Instead of it being like a bigger barrack, it was like a tent, kinda. But it wasn't too bad, because the tent was like, it was the coolest place to be, because it had like the AC in there was like pretty good. But the bathroom was different. We had like porta potties, and you know, sometimes the porta potties, they don't clean them that often, and and then the showers, I feel like it was a little bit better than week 1 of these. Yeah, the showers for week 2 of these was a tiny bit better. It was, like I said, it's a different location from week 1's Beast, because they moved us again to another location for week 2's Beast. The showers were a little bit better. That was like a wood cabin for the showers, and there was a lot of bonding, and there was some fighting in the showers. Woo, that was interesting. That was definitely an interesting day. But overall, it really wasn't that bad. It was just hot. It was hot. Like when it rained, we were happy because it wasn't that hot. And yeah, no. I think there was also a hurricane one time when we were in BMT. But it wasn't too bad from what I remember. So that's Beast, or that's as much as I'm gonna tell you guys about Beast. Y'all experience it if y'all are enlisted to go, or if you're not enlisted, I don't know what to tell y'all. That's as much as I can really tell you about Beast. But anywho, so once Beast was over, we had like a little graduation, and I actually sang at my Beast graduation. I did a duet with one of my other wingmen there. Apparently we did very good. I don't have the recording, but if I could find it, it will be in this clip somewhere. I've been trying to find it. It's like really hard, because I know someone recorded it, because my MTIs, they saw it and they said like we did really good. So if I find it, like I said, I'll put it in, most likely in this clip, or it'll just be a separate video by itself, but it'll most likely be in this clip. I do have a picture, so I'll insert that. I'll insert a couple pictures that I have from BMT, and I have like a couple little videos from BMT too, with us marching and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that towards the end or just like pop it up randomly. You guys are watching this now, so you'll know. I don't know right now. So we did Beast graduation, and then we went to like this museum, because it's not like we were back in Texas and it wasn't Corona time where we could like take a tour of base and stuff like that. So they had us go to like this museum, which is, it was pretty cool. We like saw like old fighting jets and like old uniforms. It was cool. It was cool. I enjoyed it. And then the next day we went back to our original BMT spot where we were at. And like honestly, like going back there, you know, we felt like we were feeling ourselves a little bit. We felt like, because we were like the older flight there, right? And then I remember we were driving by and we saw like the little baby female flight. We're like, oh, that was us like 4 weeks ago. Oh my gosh. Honestly, they looked really little. I feel like for our flight, we're small, but like that other flight, they looked really small, like short, like height wise, it was short. But it was, yeah, we were feeling ourselves coming back from Beast, and we had to like show, like prove ourselves, because before going, like our MTIs were like trying to get in our heads, saying like, oh, we're gonna fall apart during Beast, and like, oh, like they was just, yeah, they were trying to get in our heads, but it didn't work, because we did come together, you know, after like all the fighting, but we did come together. And coming back, they were like really calm. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, so my MTIs, like I said, I had 2 MTIs. What was it? It was Tech Sergeant Gregory and Master Sergeant Wright. Honestly, my favorite was Tech Sergeant Gregory. He was the one I was telling you, he's like the older guy. Wright was cool too, but Gregory, he Gregory was like he felt like a dad to us, low-key, because like he was always like encouraging us, giving like these little speeches and mentorships, and had us sitting down during airman's time. Yo, the amount of times we cried around him, they always said that we were like such an emotional flight because we was always crying, but it's like it's not our fault, because like we just expressing our feelings. And yeah, but like Gregory was the one, like Technical Sergeant Gregory was the one that always like got that out of us. I remember the very first airman's time, people just sharing their stories about why they joined. There was this one girl, yo, she had me bawling. Like the whole flight was pretty much bawling. Like if you're not tearing up, you're bawling, because like her story was just like, oh my gosh, like wow, that's crazy. And then other people started sharing their stories and stuff like that. But yeah, we were definitely an emotional flight. Someone was always crying. Yo, someone was always crying. But yeah, Technical Sergeant Gregory, he was always like encouraging us and like telling us like, yo, we could do it. We just have to believe in ourselves. Like we're stronger than we know. And yeah, like I know some people might think like, oh, the military's, oh, they're gonna break you down and stuff like that, but they're breaking you down to build you back up into a better person. So if you didn't come in there, like if you came in there and you have you're just nasty, you could come out nasty, unless you mentally decide like, yo, I'm gonna change my ways and stuff like that, you know. So that's really what it's like all about and stuff. And then they're trying to make you into a leader as well. You might get some leadership positions. For me, I feel like I kind of hid away from some of the leadership positions, because there was some I did not want. Like I did not want to be dorm chief. My heart goes out to the dorm chief. We had 2, and then the second one, she was like a mom of like two boys, and she was actually the oldest one there. Like she just, I felt so bad. She looked stressed all the time. But yeah, some of the jobs were like pretty stressful. I'll probably make another video about the different types of jobs that you could do during BMT. So like if there's laundry crew, there's bathroom crew, there's black gloves crew. There's a whole bunch of different little jobs you can do during BMT. Like I said, if you guys want to see that, put that down in the comments below, and I'll work on making a video on that. But yeah, so we came back for our final week at BMT, or half a week technically. From there, we were just pretty much practicing for graduation, like our official graduation. We were practicing like marching, and we were still getting yelled at. Let me tell you, the most BMT for me, it was not hard. It was just annoying. It was the heat, as well as like being treated like you're a child, because I was one of like the older people there. So a lot of the people at in my flight, they were like 18, 19. There was like, I think it was at the time like 2 17-year-olds. If y'all don't know, I'm 24. I might not look like it. I might look like I am 18, 19, but I'm actually 24. So I was one of the older people. It was just like, yo, like, they're like, if someone does something bad, everyone's getting punished for it. Like majority of the time. Because it was this one time where I think we were messing up the cadence when we were marching to the DFAC, or our quarantine DFAC, and it was me and one of my other wingmans. We started laughing, and then the MTI, he got pissed off. He's like, who's laughing? And no one was saying anything. And then me and her eventually just raised our hands, but there was like someone else too laughing, but they didn't like admit to it. And he had us get out the line, and he was like, he was just yelling at us. That was the first time I got yelled at, and I'm just like I didn't cry or nothing, but it was like, he was like, all right, get on your face now. And it was just me and her, and we were like doing push-ups. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't too bad. It was like, he had just had us going up and down doing them push-ups, and then he has to eventually go back in line. That was the first time I get yelled at. The second time I got yelled at it was one day during PT. It was a run day, and I was not feeling well at all. It was that time of the month, I think. Was it? Yeah. I think it was that time of the month, and you know, them cramps sometimes. And then I was just feeling weak. I cried then, and then my MTI yelled at me because I was crying, because he was like, you better not cry. You better not. Do not let those tears run down your face. You are, what was it, losing hydration? Or like losing the water or whatever, because they didn't want us getting dehydrated, because like I said, the heat is bad over there. And then the third time was actually during the final week of BMT, during graduation. and I was swaying because we were supposed to stand still, and I was kind of swaying. He's like, why are you swaying? And I'm like, I was feeling weak, sir. He's like, you feeling weak? You're feeling weak? You're feeling weak? You know what? Get out of my formation. Get out now. And he was just like, he was thinking I was swaying and feeling weak because I didn't drink enough water. But I definitely did drink enough water that day. It was just hot, okay? It was just hot. And honestly, I was like, okay. Like in my head, I'm like, okay. I'm like, yes, sir. But I'm like, all right, fine. I'll go sit in the grass. That's cool with me. I don't gotta stand up. But yeah, honestly, if you do have an attitude, just try to control it over there, cause they'll just keep getting at you if you have a whole attitude. So just try to control it and like get it under control. Like the mask definitely does help because they can't see your face. All right, so but still, don't try to be slick with that, okay? But anyway, so back to the last week. So graduation practice was what we were mostly doing. Starting to pack our stuffs up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then day of graduation, we put all of our stuff into this little bus. Graduation day happened. I'll probably insert maybe a little clip or put it in the link in the description box below because it was recorded. Unfortunately, it was not like a regular graduation because of Corona. So our families had to watch through YouTube or through like live stream, but ended up being, and he over here in the background smiling because he was watching and he thought he actually thought I was someone else. Right?
The mask.
The mask, that's his excuse. The mask. Yeah. Okay. We'll say that's the excuse. But he thought someone else was me. Anywho, so our families and friends or whatever had to watch through either live stream if
baby daddies.
yeah, whoever had their baby daddies, the baby daddies was watching too, baby mamas, whatever, had to watch either through live stream on Facebook or if they missed it, then they'd rewatch it on YouTube and stuff. But yeah, honestly, graduation, it was cool. It wasn't that bad. I was hoping it wouldn't be too hot that day, or like the clouds were covering up the sun, because that heat and having to stand still for a long time, that would get to you. Because they were saying like a whole bunch of people were passing out and stuff like that, just falling face forward, and they will wash you back just because of that. That's what I heard. I never experienced it, thank God, but they will wash you back because of that. So yeah, so by the end of graduation, when we were getting off that field, it was like, yo, we did it, y'all. Like, we were just mad hype, and they were trying to make sure like, oh, don't touch one another, don't touch one another, and stuff like that. But like, we were just so hype. I remember during our last PT test though, there was some people I think that had to repeat their PT test. That was like, I don't know, the people that had to repeat it, I felt very like encouraged, if that makes sense. So they started out doing their PT test, and it was just a run day for the rest of us. But like, they were on their final lap, and it was like, yo, you could do this, and everybody, like, I was not feeling that run that day. But then I saw like, yo, it's their final lap. That just gave me like a boost of energy, because I was just feeling weak and not wanting to do nothing. Like, I was definitely jogging at the slowest pace possible. You couldn't tell me nothing. But once they came around, like, so they were running this way and I was running this way. So I saw them coming around, I'm like, oh, that's their final lap. Nah, I have to run with them. So I just, instead of going around, I just cut through, and we started running. Like, it was a whole group of us running together and encouraging the people that had to redo their run again. Like, yo. And then when they finally passed, when I tell you I cried for them, like, oh my God. And then they started running, like, it was just an emotional moment. It just like, yo, that's like, we ended up becoming family at the end, like a lot of us. There was like a lot of strong bonds that were built through BMT. You do get really close to a lot of people, or certain people that you end up clicking with, and you find a click, you know. But you do become family at the end and stuff like that. After 5.5 weeks, some people they might know you better than other people know you, you know. But yeah, so graduation, fast forward to graduation, it was just a great moment. We're just like really, really happy to finally be done. Like, those 5.5 weeks definitely felt like a couple months. Like, I remember the first couple days, I was there for a couple days. It felt like I was there for like at least a month, and everybody else was saying the same thing. But yeah, overall, in my experience, BMT was not that bad. Like I said, just mentally prepare yourself, and also physically, of course, prepare yourself so that it's not too bad when you're exercising at BMT. Yeah, I highly encourage you to prepare yourself both mentally and physically, as well as spiritually, and find your why. That's another thing that they're going to talk a lot about, is finding your why as to why you joined. Why did you join the military? Why did you join the Air Force? Who are you doing this for? Is it for yourself? Is it for your kids? Is it for your family? Is it for your future family? So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for y'all. I apologize for how all over the place that this video was. If y'all want more, I guess, organized, leave it down in the comments below, and I could maybe break it up into different sections. Like I said, I could do like a section on just PT alone during BMT. Maybe try to go more detailed with Beast Week. And then, like I said, leave some questions down below. Your questions might turn into videos, so because I know a lot of people might have the same exact question that you're having. So why not make it into a video so that they're able to find that. Oh, I feel like a lot of females might also want to know how it is with hygiene and periods and all that extra fun stuff that Mother Nature comes with. I could probably make a video on that too. Just let me know down in the comments below if you guys want to see that, and I'll be sure to do it. All right, you guys, so that is it. I will catch you guys in the next video, and bye.
VicaLove.